Cho yata.
Cho talaga.
pinili nila.
Well, Cho is nice against Roger Jungle and also the Edith. Ang problema kasi ginawang XP yung Edith. Unless, okay, never mind. So, it would be nice.
Game 1, again, Game 1 had its peaks and valleys, and they had its back and forth. But now, I think we'll see more action from both sides early on.
Well, I think so too. Especially maybe this time around, FNATIC ONIC trying to set the pace themselves early on. It's the same sample. You know, you have King Kong and the Ling. You want to get that confidence going. He kind of had to work back for it, of course, in the previous game. But again, it all starts with how the early game goes for them and leading into that first turtle. And even, you know, looking at the emblems that they brought to the table, this is what I was saying. I think Brusco, even without the level 4, can already be a nuisance in terms of like the poke that he can provide on this Cho pick.
And of course, the double Brave Smite from Kelra and Kirk. Two seminal frontliners from FNATIC ONIC Philippines. Talking about TLPH in just a bit, there's the aforementioned Purify on Benny Cutie, Brusco. Oh no, knocked up.
Yeah, he's
fine.
He's already he's able to get away, and that's the thing too. I think in a sense when you look back at game number 1, you know, JP with the Tigreal had so many sets, and some of them worked for them, some of them didn't. But this time around, it's a little bit easier on the Edith, and that's why it was interesting that they swapped too. You know, Midnight mentioned thinking Edith would go in the XP lane in the hands of Sanford, but even with that swap, Sanford having that Grok works great too with this because we've seen that combination so many times where you have a lot of reliant CC available to you, crowd control available to you for this lineup from TLPH.
Yep. Again, talking about that switch up, it's not just FNATIC ONIC Philippines who adjusted, even TLPH, because it's so easy to think that, hey, this is JP on the Grok. For sure, they want that wild charge up and ready wherever he could be as a roamer. But no, they said, you know what, let's put JP on Edith so that it's just as quickly and easy for us to pick off with the 1-2 combo of the Earth Shatter Onward. Just like the Cho. Just like the Cho, who's now showing a little bit up in front of Carl TZ. And now the double laner in the XP role. Because look, Turtle's already spawned, and it's JP first to the scene.
Turtle's up, JP waiting for that level 4 too. But I think they can go ahead and start this up. Brusco just locking that in, has the Way of the Dragon available to him now, has also the Flicker. So they get the information here, and this is, once again, one of the great things about a Zask. You know, you can just plant the little nightmare spawns in some of these areas that provide some vision, provide a little bit of poke as well. Kirk also holding on to the penalty zone. Could possibly set things up. Brusco's going to be able to jump in. They find the combo off. JP somehow gets the turtle. He's actually going to pop the Primal Wrath 2 in for it. Super Fritz on the run. Sanford will throw out the wall. He'll flicker over the turret to survive, but the Wild Charge going to find them too. Brusco goes down. Kirk's going to pick up the kill himself, but Sanji already gets the double. And Kirk flickers on the defense, almost dragging Carl TZ with him.
Amazing trade for Team Liquid Philippines. They gave up 40 for the turtle and 2 kills, King Kong and Brusco. That's a buy one, take one. For the cavalry. That's a good deal. That's a bargain.
Oh, Sandy.
Oh!
Whoa. All right, Brusco's going to go in for his own. And we'll pick up that one. So get some another kill on the board here.
All right. Again, it's no doubt that FNATIC ONIC PH know how to dig themselves out of a bad situation. So them being down about 400, 500 gold here, 3 minutes in, is not anything that the Sonics should be panicking about. There's a minute left before the second turtle of the game spawns. And so far, I think, going into King Kong's mind right now, he's in recovery mode. Like, he should not have died that early.
Which is, going back to the point I made earlier, you know, he wants to start things up. Brusco going to find multiple members in the bush. Carl TZ goes in. Actually, it looked like he was surprised that much damage was done and was like, you know what, I'll go pick up the kill too. So Brusco gets punished that time around. And that's not a, you know, you don't want to have that happen every time you walk into a bush. You see 3-4 members of the cavalry there.
Not many heroes would survive. Yeah. Not even a Rome, not even a tank, not even a Uranus would have survived that much damage coming at you from that bush. So FNATIC ONIC PH learned that lesson the hard way. Not the time to be checking bushes, not against a team like Team Liquid Philippines. There is some action up top. What is that? Kelra! Kelra!
Oh, Kelra? Okay, Brusco's there too. That one's going to be okay, and I think this is like the slow burn with the gold lane Ruby that we've even talked about in the previous game. Need some time to build that up, and then, like we saw Kelra do in game number 1, change some things. King Kong flying around. Of course, going to pick up the Berserker's Fury. JP, though, going in too. Going to hold them up there. Brusco also now going in for the zone, and Diversion's going to be used. They find JP quite low. Tempest Blade's going to be used as well. King Kong will pick up the turtle. Looking for JP next. Calro picks up the kill. Brusco going to blunder the flicker. Ends up going down. Benny Cutie now on the backside, focusing on Calra. Sanford takes the brunt of the damage. And Carl Teasy will join the fight to pick up Kirk. Multiple members quite low here. FNATIC ONIC trying to run away. Benny Cutie also low, but King Kong won't be able to pick up the kill. Everybody gonna go reset that's left alive in that whole fight.
The marbles on this young man, King Kong, and of course, Friends. You see how much Friends was dealing with and how he just stood there like, all right, you know, I think I can just throw out maybe 1 or 2 spells more. And he definitely could have died from Sanford's Guardian's Barrier, but they stood their ground. And now because of that, it's a turtle apiece here. And I think King Kong is done with being in the back foot. He built his Berserker's Fury, as mentioned. And is this right? Is he up like 100, 200 gold from Carl?
Yeah, I think so. And again, you know, this is why King Kong, ever since he started playing pretty much in the MPL Philippines, he's done well to hold a lot of his own against some of the best junglers out there in the league. Right now on the top side, Kirk's going to be in trouble as he gets taken down. Bonnie of Smith not going to be able to help. Now Brusco goes in for the kick, but it's also a double for Benny Cutie. Calra goes in for the pull on JP with the help of the turret, but still won't be able to pick up a kill. TLPH ends up getting everything out of it, but King Kong now joining the area. I don't think he's going to be able to find the pickoff. And so FNATIC ONIC, you know, they at least hold on to the turret, tier 1 on the top.
All that up top was Team Liquid PH. They've ballooned up to 2,000 gold, and there was nothing that FNATIC ONIC PH could have done. And so far, King Kong just rotated for nothing. He did get to drive by his buffs in a small camp, but that aside, Kirk and Brusco suffered the brunt of it. Now with the final turtle spawning in the lower quarter, I'd reckon Brusco would like to redeem himself after that little hubbub with that last one. And no, there's not much. King Kong tried.
Oh, he tried. Wow. Okay, JP too. Trying to make a play himself. Diversion going to be used just to get to safety in the mid lane. But, you know, again, I think they were just... See how quickly TLPH went for that turtle. They got it taken care of, and there was really nothing that FNATIC could do.
What?
While charge going to be used already. Fighting under the tier 1, though. They're going to flicker out from Kelra, and now they're going to be in trouble as Benny Cutie goes under the turret to pick up a kill. Kirk going to get zoned out by Sanford. And man, it just looks like they're making these small mistakes here where they're allowing TLPH to find those wins and turn things continually in their favor.
I'd reckon it's less than FNATIC ONIC PH's mistakes. It's just TLPH have created a catch-22 that allows for them to get away with what they want, regardless, right? I'm talking about Sanford on the Grok. Like, you can't CC him. So whether or not you have something to knock him up or stop him in his tracks, he is going to get in there without needing to use the flicker and get a solid wall charge. Look, flicker's off of cooldown.
Yeah.
He got in there and just compromised FNATIC ONIC's front line.
So I think that duo of heroes, that combination, Edith and Grok, is so deadly because it gives you such a, you know, on-use usage. Look at this, JP actually going to pop the conceal. Goes in with the Ironward Earth Shatter, not going to find the connection though. Carl Teasy will, as he jumps under the turret, picks up another kill as they find 2. FNATIC ONIC losing that mid turret finally, and TLPH picking up 2 kills.
See what I tell you? Catch-22, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's nowhere for me to go. I feel miserable for Super Brains. He knows that JP was there, and he had, what, a 33 1/3 chance to walk away, but he didn't even try.
And, you know, that math gets worse because of the fact that even if you sidestep the Earth Chatter and you avoid the whole conceal play, like you said, Sanford can be wild enough just to wild charge wherever he wants, whether he has flicker or not, and especially when you're fighting under turrets.
The numbers don't lie. They spelled disaster for FNATIC ONIC PH in that moment, and now they're going to try the diversion play, moving up top. Lord spawn in the upper quarter. This is the first one. Down to a 5th, down to a 10th.
They're going to drop it in. Brusco, JP secures the Lord again. Brusco taking so much damage from Benny Cutie as Benny Cutie pops off again. They pick up 2 kills around. FNATIC ONIC not able to do anything. They try to make a play with the diversion, and they don't get anything. King Kong will just get his buff.
That's something. Silver lining, at least they're not starved, but You're right. Joseph, I think compared to game one, this might be a smarter, wiser Team Liquid Philippines.
Yeah.
FNATIC ONIC not going to get away with their old tricks. Looking at the item build so far, Kelra is so behind.
Yeah, look at this. What, almost 3,000 gold behind.
What a strug.
What was the biggest difference too? Like, he just has not been able to do what he did at the previous game at this point. And part of it too is just Benny Cutie having a hell of a game.
Exactly.
5-on-4.
I guess it's just the mechanics and the dynamics between these two heroes. On a Roger and Ruby, he would have to get in there. On a carry, you just are at half health as soon as you fight.
Exactly, because they have to fight under the base turrets. Holy shields are going to be popping. King Kong joins the fight. They hold on to the base turrets, but I think that's all TLPH wanted to do. And again, going with the discipline. They'll see if they can still force this lineup, the options, the utility that they have, to force a fight against FNATIC ONIC. Brusco also checking the sides. He has not been able to do much with this choke pick at all.
I'd say he had maybe one good kick.
Maybe one.
In all of 11 minutes. Team Liquid PH approaching 8,000 gold ahead here. Lord coming up in about a minute and a half. And now this is the point where Ling mains all over the world will cringe. Slowly but surely they will starve King Kong of his purple. Look at that. Look at the energy drain from this King this Ling.
Leaving the little guy.
Left the little guy out.
Left the little guy. So now, not only do you cringe, you just wince at the same time. And at the point, they're just leaving JP there too. Like, JP will just stay there for a while. Because again, the whole game plan here is let's just wait for the Lord to come up. And they set up that little triangle too. You can see Kelra goes in for the I'm offended, just to force JP out of there. And he'll most likely eventually just set up in another bush, doing pretty much the same thing. Kirk's going to go ahead and clear the little minion out so they can at least get that timer going. But they're 30 seconds away from this Lord here, and King Kong is starving on the Ling this time around. And even Brusco is just faced with what seems like an impossible task unless somehow, some way, he gets the kick of his life. And even then, he just has to accept the fact that even if he does, he's dead. So it's got to be a good one.
Who do you kick is even the question, right? You want a free one on 40? You want one on JP?
Wild
Kelra!
Kelra sets you up. But yeah, as you said, the wild charges are just going to be unleashed.
Hit him with a lariat. Right in his face, too. The power of nature fully charged. After the flicker animation cancel wild charge, and FNATIC ONIC just have to hunker down. Like, there's no way they can contest.
This is such a contrast to what we saw in game number one. And, you know, maybe it can be said like, hey, FNATIC ONIC, you know, you're down 8,000 gold, but maybe you can pull a Hail Mary in the base. But with the lineup that they have, I see it being very difficult. Very difficult for that to happen unless somehow, some way, if you remember the moment, if you guys watched game one, when it was a push with the Lord, Kelra got a 3-man pull, Super Prince was able to pop some damage off. That might be what they need here.
It's very difficult, but not impossible. You already laid down the precedent. You know that they can do it, especially with a lineup like this, especially with Terizla on Kirk.
Yep.
So maybe, just maybe. Now the question is, can Brusco find the kick? That's number one. They got to isolate one of the key members of TLPH to get away with this. And, oh, again, the purple denial.
But I think, again, as that's what worked so well in the previous game, even when they pulled those Hail Marys, they had Brusco on a Minotaur, able to pop up an AoE stun, if you will, with Minoan's Fury.
There's that.
This time around, it's Brusco only able to lock down one target.
You can't kick Lord.
You can't. And they go in, punch it into the base. Kelra's low again. Turret's finally going to fall, but that's the kill. JP will go down as well. But already with one member down, Carl Teasy unleashing on Kirk. I don't think they're going to be able to defend this, and it looks like Liquid Echo alongside the Lord punching it on the base, and they'll take us to game number 3.
Ask and you shall receive. Two teams with a winning streak ain't gonna go down so easily. We're at 1-1. TLPH strikes back.
As we said, leading into the matchup, we thought last match be taking us to game 3. Well, also this one, and look at how it's fallen in place. What better way to have